All right, chat. Today we have a good video. We have a video from Grant. So I'm not gonna lie, if you guys remember the buy now pay later video, this is the same creator. I figured we watch this video because he's talking about the Ozempification of America. So let's see what he means.
America is one of the fattest countries in the world, but something is changing. Over the last 4 years, Ozempic has taken over our culture, and some CEOs are worried that it could destroy their business. But the reason for this might surprise you.
So basically, and he'll obviously explain it, but Ozempic is a GLP, I think, but it basically just makes people eat less. So people are eating the portion they were supposed to eat, so they're losing weight. So yeah. But I think overall it's a good thing. That's not what Ozempic was made for. Now there's stuff now that's weight loss, but like Ozempic was not for weight loss. I remember them saying that in the commercials all the time.
Because even though people are shopping less, the companies aren't actually losing. And Ozempic might actually be the best thing to ever happen to them. So what's really happening with the Ozempification of America? This is who we have to thank for the magical weight loss drug that is Ozempic. Well, not the stuffed animal, but what it represents.
The actual animal.
This is a Gila monster, and in the 1990s, a scientist by the name of Dr. John Eng discovered that there was a compound in the Gila monster's venom. This compound, known
GLP-1.
as Exendin-4, could mimic GLP-1. And if you're like me and you don't have a biology degree, you might be wondering what GLP-1 actually does.
Okay.
So let's do a breakdown. And remember, I'm not a scientist, nor do I claim to be one. This is just what I think is important for what we're going to talk about today.
Alrighty.
Your gut creates a hormone called GLP-1. That hormone is what's responsible for suppressing your appetite and regulating your blood sugar. The problem is naturally created GLP-1 doesn't stick around for very long because your body breaks it down fairly quickly. But scientists discovered that the Gila monster venom, although deadly to humans, also contained compounds that looked like human GLP-1. In other words, it worked exactly like our version of GLP-1, but it actually stayed in your body for longer. The only problem was Dr. Eng and the Gila monster's version of GLP-1 had to be injected twice a day for it to take its effect.
Twice a day?
Later, another company by the name of Novo Nordisk created another version of synthetic GLP-1. This one lasted even longer and didn't require daily injections like Dr. Eng's version. That synthetic version is what we now know today as semaglutide, which is the main ingredient in Ozempic and Wegovy. Ozempic was originally created to treat type 2 diabetes, but while doctors were prescribing it, they realized it was also a great solution for weight loss. Which brings us to today. 12% of the American population has used a GLP drug.
Like people, now Lacey's on the GLP-1, but people thought he was on Ozempic the first time because Ron spread like a stupid rumor. But like, think about it like in your real life. Like a lot of people have just taken this like shortcut. I'm one to say if this is what helps you lose weight, take it, because losing weight and gaining more muscle is the healthiest thing you can do. So even though I obviously didn't, like, I'm not gonna sit there and be like, no, you shouldn't take. Like, if it's gonna help you, it's gonna help you. Like, it's there for a reason, So
or another. That's
always been my take on it.
42 million people, which is about the same as the entire population of Canada. And when you have 42 million people buying something that makes them eat less food, things start to change at the grocery stores and restaurants. For years, the American food industry was built on two things: addiction and overconsumption. During World War II, foods like powdered cheese, dehydrated potatoes, and unmeltable chocolate bars were sent to the front lines for the soldiers. These foods were packed full of preservatives, flavorings, and vitamins to make them basically indestructible. But after the war, the food companies realized that they could sell this back at home, but under the marketing of easy and convenient food, which meant you could now have a healthy meal without spending any time in the kitchen.
Spam is just nasty, bro. Like I don't know if it's the stereotype, bro. Spam just seems nasty to me.
More vitamins and minerals and become extremely addicting. After all, many of the major food companies at the time were owned by major tobacco companies who know how to get you to consume something that isn't necessarily good for you. But before we get to that, Ever since you were a baby eating this stuff, your brain has been manipulated into liking the things that food companies want you to like. They study
Wait, what do they
tastes
put in
and
baby
textures
food?
to create the most addictive
Wait,
snacks
what?
possible, and then use artificial ingredients and preservatives to make it happen.
They use
Amy Bentley,
artificial
who is a food
ingredients in
historian
baby
and professor
food?
at NYU, calls this the industrial
Or is he
palate.
using that
It's
as
the
just like
idea
an
that if we're
example?
exposed to something for long enough, we will learn to crave it. Which is exactly why most Americans can't walk into a grocery store without buying at least one piece of junk food.
I
But what
can't
happens
anymore,
when those
bro.
Cravings and addictions simply stop
It's just
working?
too many
At its
calories,
basic level,
bro.
GLP-1 drugs suppress your appetite. And when your appetite is suppressed, we don't crave snacks or sugary things as much, which means shoppers' carts aren't as full as they used to be. According to a study by Cornell University, within 6 months of
2025.
starting a GLP-1 drug, households reduced their grocery spending by an
That's
average
good.
of 5.3%.
Fast food
And in
spending
2023,
drops?
Walmart announced that they're seeing the same thing, with overall cart sizes decreasing from
Okay.
customers taking GLP-1. Which brings me to this report from Morgan Stanley.
It is
According to
crazy.
this report, GLP-1 drugs are expected to become the biggest drug class in history,
Easily.
which means there
Easily.
will be millions.
I'd put thousands of dollars on that. I'd put hundreds of thousands of dollars on that. People don't understand, like Retas, I would consider something that people are using to use, like peptides, like a lot of weight loss peptides, like telling you, man.
Millions of people cutting their caloric intake down to just 1,000 calories per day. But we have to remember that food companies are some of the oldest and biggest companies in the world.
Yep,
And
so they know
don't
how to
mess around
adapt.
when it comes to profit. If
What
we
is
just look
wrong
back
with
on
you?
history,
You're caught in 4K. This video is going on YouTube. Everybody laugh at Calvin in the comments, bro. Laugh at Calvin.
they've already proven they can get through just about anything. In 1978, Heinz bought Weight Watchers and added products like cheesecake to make more profit. Nestle created Lean Cuisine, and
I'm
next
not
to
cutting
Hot
it out, bro.
Pockets,
You got caught in
had
4K.
Lean Pockets. It might have only been 30 calories less, but people thought it was healthier.
I'm gonna need
so
5
they bought
gifted
it.
for
One of
me to
the
edit that
worst
out, bro.
examples of this comes from 1996 when Pepsi released a line of potato chips fried in Olestra. Olestra was the new
Olestra.
miracle ingredient at the time. It was a fat substitute that had 0 calories. The only
1996,
problem
okay.
is your body couldn't digest it, and it also stopped your body from digesting other vitamins it actually needed. Needless to say,
If
this
I remember,
caused
I'll cut
some
it out.
major issues, and Olestra is now used to paint decks and lubricate power tools.
And they were putting it in food.
This time, the
Goodness.
threat is bigger than any diet trend before. JP Morgan estimates that GLP-1 use could wipe out $30 to $55 billion
How you been there,
in
bro?
annual sales for the food and beverage industry by 2030. But at the same time, some brands are now making more money than ever before.
Do y'all have the
Yeah.
protein ice lattes?
And it's like, oh man, is he gonna talk about it? Why does everything have protein in it? Perfect, bro. Doing good.
Thank you.
It's all right. I mean, y'all kind of saw it. Like, all I really did was stream yesterday. I didn't work on the
It's no
outro screen.
secret that protein is being
It's
shoved
all this
into
like fake protein stuff, like, and it's so like the Pop-Tarts protein have the same amount of protein, you know, like the edamame, this is good ball. The Fairlife is good ball. Hornbulls is good ball, but it's like a candy bar. Like it's not like an actual protein bar. Like this, it's like a candy bar. I don't know what these are. It's less sugar though. Have a good one, bro. Appreciate you stopping by. Protein popcorn, I doubt that's good. Protein soda, iffy. And then whatever this in the back is probably good.
our faces at every turn. And
Poppy has
truthfully,
no protein.
Some of this stuff isn't even that high in protein. They're
Oh, yeah,
just
this is the
highlighting
fake one I've seen.
grams
This
to
the
make it
cloud,
seem
yeah.
like it's high in protein.
Yeah.
But this isn't actually about brands trying to become healthier. It's actually their attempt to survive.
It's their attempt to, he's going to talk about it, but GLP-1 suppress your appetite, and people are so, like, a lot more people, not everybody, but a lot more people are like, oh, I need to eat protein, so let me find protein. I've told so many people, like, just because it says protein on it doesn't mean it's good. Doesn't mean it. You have to look at the nutrition facts.
effects of GLP-1. These foods were all created by one company, a food lab that spends all of their time figuring out exactly why we eat what we eat.
EPG,
They
all that
study
stuff.
taste, texture, sound, flavor,
I could talk
smell,
about this stuff all
anything
day,
you can think
bro.
of that will be part of the eating experience. And Mattson is exactly who
Mattson.
the major brands are turning to right now. But Mattson isn't recommending they completely change course. They're just tweaking what they already have because they have the data
That's all they have to do.
exactly what GLP-1 users are craving. In this New York Times article, the journalist went to Mattson to see what they were working on. During his time there, he was shown a chicken stick in the shape of string cheese. The Mattson chief innovation officer claimed it was a supercharged mozzarella stick with 13 grams of protein and grill lines that weren't actually grill lines. They'd just be faked with caramel coloring. And strangely, it had a strong citrus flavor. That's because in Mattson's research, they found that GLP-1 users crave fresh, acidic flavors. You see, that's the thing. These companies have millions of data points to pull from to outsmart our brains. Even though Ozempic and Wegovy makes you crave food less, there are ways they can get you to crave the food they want you to. And their big bet is that convenience will always win.
Convenience will always win. People already don't check the nutrition facts. Like I showed y'all this. Like this is one of the protein bars. This is the cheap bars you can get them at Walmart, right? Pure protein. Like my camera's not gonna focus. Macros 190, 6 grams of fat, 19 grams of protein, right? Like people will be like, oh, that's a good protein bar. But then they'll go to the store and there's another protein bar that has 12 grams of fat and like 12 grams of protein. It's still a protein bar. It's just a really bad protein bar with like bad macros, but people don't know because they don't click the macros. So these companies are betting on convenience. They're betting on you seeing protein at the store. They're betting on you wanting to be healthier and just believing the branding or just not knowing. So it sucks, but I'd rather people, try and eat everything that's here. Yes, it has artificial sugars. Yes, we don't fully know about artificial sugars, but I think everything here is better to eat than regular food. That's just a hot take.
But it can't necessarily change your behavior. Although the data shows that people crave fruits,
you can still eat. It also just because you eat, just because all this stuff has protein in it, the right person is going to eat all this in one day, and you still ate 3,000 calories. So
that GLP-1 users still resort to frozen meals or prepackaged snacks, which is why these companies are now pumping their food full of protein and fiber.
Like 9 grams of fiber is horrible
less
for
calories. People are looking for higher value calories. So what better way to sell more products than to slap protein or fiber on the packaging? Just look at these two Pop-Tarts. They look nearly identical, and their nutrition label is pretty much the same thing.
Look at the label. Look at the label. Look at the label. Chat, look at it.
And their nutrition label is...
The label is the exact... it's blurry, but it's literally the exact same. 370, 380. Literally the exact same.
They're both about 400 calories per serving, but this one has 5 grams of protein.
This one literally has more calories, and it's the same thing.
10 grams of protein. But on the package, this one is labeled with protein. Not high in protein, because that would actually require an FDA approved level of protein. So instead of actually making a high protein version, they just say protein in all caps and sell pretty much the same product. Doing this also serves as a great way to increase the price of the product, which brings me to shrinkflation. According to Capital One, 48%
it's going to even cover shrinkflation. This is why we like Grant's videos, chat. Grant actually be going in depth with this, bro. Like most YouTubers would have just talked about like GLP-1s. He's talked about that. He's talked about like everything has protein in it, and now he's gonna talk about shrinkflation. He covered all three.
Of shrinkflation, and 75% have noticed it on the shelf. Cheetos went from 17.5 ounces to just 15 ounces.
And once again, if you don't like, I'm not advocating for y'all to track y'all's food. And I've paused a lot for this, how short this video is, but like I've tracked my food for almost 700 days now. I lost a lot of weight. None of you guys on this channel would know because I lost this weight when I was a live streamer without a live channel. But what I'm saying is that if you don't track your food, you're not thinking about the ounces and stuff on your food. Every day I every time I buy, ground beef at the store, 400 grams, right? So it's like when I don't get 2 servings because when I eat, ground beef, I normally have 200 grams, but that's a whole different story. If I don't have 200 grams both days, then I know I got scammed because I should have had 400 grams. And I only know that because I'm weighing everything I cook. So when I have less, I know. So people don't really realize that the bags are getting smaller because they already don't check the nutrition. They're not checking how much the total bag is. You know what I mean?
Cents to 40 cents per ounce. And Tropicana orange juice shrunk from
So
52
ridiculous.
ounces to 46 ounces.
And they're
but
raising
the
prices
price didn't
doing
go down.
this.
Shoppers everywhere are calling
Prices
out the
are going
brands and
up.
complaining on social media, but GLP-1 users want smaller packaging and smaller portions. So it's reasonable to say that the uptick in GLP-1 use is a new way for brands to hide shrinkflation in plain sight. After
Yep.
all, for years, companies have been shrinking products and hoping
Which is
customers
such a
wouldn't
shame.
notice. Now they don't even have to
Like
hide
all
it. They
these
can just
and then
call it an
prices
upgrade.
go up, they don't go down.
Lean Cuisine and Vital Pursuit are both owned by Nestle. Both of these meals are around 9.5 ounces and would serve as your dinner for the night. But
Yep.
the Vital Pursuit meal is usually 30 to 40% more expensive per ounce than the Lean Cuisine
Yep.
meal. All because of this little badge right here.
GLP-1
Conagra
friendly.
is doing the same thing, but they're not even changing the formula. They're just putting a new sticker on the package, just like Hot Pockets did with Lean Pockets in the 80s. And it doesn't even stop in the freezer.
And
aisle.
do you
If
think
look at
Lean
fast
Pockets
food
was
menus,
healthy?
You'll see the same thing. Restaurants
No.
like Smoothie King offer GLP-1 friendly items, even though, according to
Which they're the exact, like the Gladiator GLP-1 is literally the exact same Gladiator as the normal. It's the same thing.
their nutrition label, they're exactly the same as their standard version.
It's the same thing. I got a story time for y'all, chat. This is the first story time. So this was, I think, my sophomore year of college, so pretty recently. This is one of the last times I went to the like area with all the food. I got a GLP-1 Gladiator vanilla, right? So you're not supposed to like put like the normal Gladiator, you can put like whatever in it, but GLP-1, I don't think you're supposed, like I don't think you have to. And so I'm like, just give me the GLP-1 vanilla. I don't want anything in it, right? Because I was on a super cut. Like I didn't even want fruit until I got home and I could weigh it. And the worker was like, I can't do that. It's going to be powdery. And I was like, no, I've had this before. Like I've ordered this 3 times in the last couple of weeks. And so I get into this argument with the worker and she's like, no, I'm not doing this order. You can, add something or not. So I was like, okay, add strawberries then and just make it a strawberry. And I was like, that's so stupid. How are you going to tell me something where I went to that Smoothie King the last 2 weeks before that, because I'm not balling like that. I'm not getting Smoothie King every week. And they made the smoothie no issues. It was just that one person. And then like the actual Smoothie King I normally go to, like they had no problems with it as well. And I was like I get that it's a little powdery, but like why does that matter to you? Just blend it. Literally just blend it. It doesn't affect you. It literally it affects me the way I'm drinking it because it's powdery, but like it wasn't that powdery for it to be an argument thing. But with that being said, sorry for the rant, but yeah, GLP-1, it's the exact same thing. A lot of these companies are just branding whatever they already have the GLP-1 just because they can legally do it, which is a shame. But the actual GLP-1 products, I like it.
And restaurants like Cheesecake Factory are adding smaller portion size options to things on their menu. It would probably be better if they just shrunk the menu itself, but who am I to judge? Everyone is trying to market the food in new ways, but they're not actually changing the formula inside of it.
Exactly.
GLP-1
That's
friendly
the
isn't
issue.
even a regulated term like good source of protein or high in fiber. So brands can just slap it on anything they want without any legal issues. But if we take a step back, the timing of this is all a little bit strange. The use of Ozempic, Wegovy, and other GLP-1s has skyrocketed since its release.
COVID.
But the decrease in consumer spending also lines up with something else we've been seeing. Inflation, which got me thinking, is Ozempic actually the cause for all of this? Or is this just the natural reaction of consumers who can't afford as much as they used to? After all, Cheetos didn't shrink because of GLP-1 and Tropicana didn't either. That all happened because costs went up and companies needed to protect their bottom line, which has always been their focus. If we look back at everything that has happened, we saw how World War II rations became convenient food, then it was engineered to be addictive, but hidden behind the idea of flavor innovation, then they would barely change anything in the recipe, but call it healthier and low calorie. And now,
like, look at the lean
2025,
one, 230 for
shrinkflation
like a little
is being
pocket.
sold as portion control for GLP-1 consumers. They're the same companies using the same playbook,
ingredients,
but just changing the marketing every time. And it's not like these GLP-1 alternatives are any cheaper. They're all more expensive because, as you might have figured out by now, it's not about your health, it's about the profit margin.
Great video.
So there you have it, the Ozempification of America. I hope this video taught you something that you might not have already known about this whole thing. The most important piece that I learned personally was that all of these things are interrelated between inflation, shrinkflation, and Ozempic. You can't really look at one specific data point and just assume that that is the reason for everything, which I think a lot of these articles about how Ozempic is affecting the economy are doing. As with everything that we talk about, it's important to not just look at one thing in a vacuum and really consider the overall market as a whole. If you like this video and you want to see more, make sure to subscribe and YouTube.
Make sure y'all go subscribe them, bro. Great video, great analysis and everything. It brought out a rant session out of me, so I'm gonna keep that in the video. But if you made it to the end of the video, make sure to follow the Twitch. I'm live literally every day, StoryofMike with 2 eyes. And follow the YouTube, StoryofMike live. You're on it right now. Actually, it's actually easier if you just click this right here. But I'll see y'all later. Peace.